at right after this session. So you will see this here. You've got a brand positioning statement right here. What is your brand positioning? Okay. Who is this? So just fill in the blanks here. And you can even ask AI to help you with this. Copy and paste this into AI after you've gone through your brand persona questions and ask it to fill it out and see whether or not that reads well. Does it sound right in your tone? In the instance of TW Totes, this is what they wanted to do. They wanted something like this because they feel everyone deserved that luxurious feeling and to feel absolutely confident and magnificent about themselves wherever and whatever they're carrying. So for on socials, again, is all of that the same? Because if your messaging is changed, if you look at my messaging and look at exactly what I do, my 160 characters in my Instagram profile, it's no different than what's on my Facebook profile or on what my Twitter profile is or LinkedIn. It is all consistent because consistency builds brand trust. You will get bored with your actual message and what you actually put out there before anybody even notices that it exists. Did TW Totes? No, not then. This was before then. So they actually just went through the process themselves, Ronnie. They did not use AI. Of course, AI came out November 2022. I was one of the early testers, so I know AI very, very well in the capacity that it can do. And that's one of the best things that you can do that saves so much time and energy and a lot of sweat and heartache for small businesses because AI can help question you through this, okay? All right. So as you see here, do you look the same? Is your brand consistent? So you're building brand trust. Your website, do you own it? Do you control it? You don't have to have a website, but if you do, make sure your website is set up to truly build confidence in the search engine so it shows you more to more people who search, and also when people find it, they're having a good experience from that as well, okay? So also a Google business profile. If you don't have that, we actually have whole sessions. So making your website work for you is towards the end of the month. So there's a free session on that. There's a free session on how you can get found utilizing Google business profile, which is 100% free tool. So you can control your information on Google search and maps. But if you're not using this yet, then you might put this on your to-do list for 2024, or at least attend the webinar or get some help on this so that you can start using these free tools that you have access to. All right, so we said awareness is first. Second in the funnel is consideration. What do they need to make a decision to do business with you? Well, we won't do business with anybody that we know, like that we don't trust, right? That we don't know, that we don't like, that we don't trust. So they're going to need some things to have and some information to feel confident, as does the search engine. So, do you listen and do you learn? For example, if you get any reviews, do you respond to all of your reviews? Even the positive reviews. Do you say thank you? 97% of businesses don't say thank you for a good review, and all that shows up to anybody that is discovering you for the first time or researching you is that you don't listen to your customers. And none of us want to do business with somebody who won't listen to us. Okay? So, what are you doing that shows that you listen and you engage? For those of you in social, are you commenting back anytime somebody does comment? And immediately, because social is just that. It's a social tool. It's not media as much as it is social. When you communicate, do you deliver value or are you just spouting what I can Google and find? Are you putting your own personal spin? Do you put your expertise in what makes you unique there? And then are you working and developing relationships? Those take time. Much as I would like to say you can microwave those, you cannot. Relationships take time, but you can expedite those by making those connections online and helping and supporting each other online. So, are you doing all of those things to help build trust? So, when you listen and learn, now you know what matters to them. Isn't it wonderful when you are searching for a product, service, or solution? So you've got something you need to fix, and you come across somebody who says they know how to solve this, or they're putting information that really is just connecting with you. And they say, oh, this is one of the number one pitfalls that will be a money pit for you. So you don't want to go this costly route. Here are the 5 things. This is a checklist, so you don't do that. When somebody can help and tell us beforehand that there is going to be something that we're going to run up against and they can save us, now they elevate themselves as a trusted advisor. And plus, not only that, they've taken the fear out of it for me, because now I can know what's ahead that I may not be aware of, because this is not the industry that I'm in. But they are passionate about that and they're experts on this. So when you can help somebody that way, that makes a huge amount of difference as well. So when you address those, you help and find out what they're looking for, that lets you know exactly who your customers are. So a lot of times people will ask me about keywords, because keywords are the actual words people use to be able to search and find things. So do you know the keywords people are using to find you? Not what they should use. We don't want to should on anybody. And I said should, but it is just as bad. We don't want to do that. We need to listen and learn from them. They are experts on themselves. They need to teach us so we can be the experts and do the heavy lifting. So what words are they using? If you're not sure, look at your business, look at your industry, Google yourself. There are 3 places that you can show up and find out what keywords are. Number 1 is in the autocomplete. When you're filling out this, it'll start auto-completing. Those auto-completed words that you're showing in the drop-down are telling you right now what is actively searched by people around your product, service, or solution. You can also say and look at the middle where it says people also ask. Those are the questions that they're asking. Hey Google, hey Alexa, or that they're typing in. So you can see exactly what people are searching for. And then at the very bottom, suggested, you'll see more, but at the very bottom in now gray, not in green, but in gray bubbles, you will see exactly what people also are searching for. These are keywords. This is important, not to use your own words, but keywords, the words that they're using. Because if you're a pediatric dentist and you're saying, I do, reconstructive, ortho surgery, I'm a pediatric orthodontist, and the question that people are asking of Google is, who can help me in my area straighten a 13-year-old's teeth? Then you're not matching. Google's algorithm is built on 3 pillars: relevance, distance, and prominence. Each of those has about 1,000 factors underneath. Relevance is number 1. How well are you relevant and matching what somebody's searching for? And that is by words, everyone. There's no intent. It definitely has to do with, if you say, I have a 13-year-old that needs teeth straightened, and you're saying you're a pediatric dentist, you've missed the mark and you're not going to show up in any of those searches. So how can you know what people are searching for? How many of you have used Google Trends? You can Google this, Google Trends. I'm not sure if this short link is still working. I forgot to check that this morning, but Google Trends, if you Google it, is 100% free tool that will let you know across the United States, the world, YouTube, search, or just within your zip code, your city, your county, your state, what people are actively searching for right now, even around your business or your topic. All right. Now, whether or not you get many search results depends on how big an area and how many people are searching. So, for example, if I searched for how many people are looking for pediatric dentist in the last 4 hours in Midland, Texas, where I happen to live, I may not find a lot of searches, but I could say in the last 30 days, how many people looked for people searching for 13-year-olds straightening teeth within the West Texas area. So Midland, Odessa, San Angelo, Lubbock, El Paso. So I'm going to just all the way over to the west. Then I will be able to find exactly what people are searching for. And now you can decide exactly what you post about, what you actually blog about, what your emails need to be about, because now this resonates with them. And the thing they say is, oh my gosh, they get me. And you getting them and people feeling heard is powerful. That is how you get consideration. So when you share content that matters most to them, when you provide them with things so that they don't fear, so you educate them, they know what the next steps are because you know what those pitfalls are and the decisions they're going to need to make. When you really showcase that you are the go-to to help them with this and you pay attention to them, that is where you get consideration. So you can share this content several different places. Again, be really careful because you can get into the business of being a content machine. And unless you're a content creator, that doesn't make any sense. But If you create content, let's say for social, make sure you're repurposing it everywhere else. Like for example, you can post videos, those 15, 30-second videos and stories from Instagram work well. TikTok, when you remove the TikTok logo, works well on your Google business profile, which shows up in Google search and maps. You can also repurpose posts there. So you can show it in email, in YouTube. You can repurpose any of your short form video into YouTube Shorts, which is given a lot of favor in Google's algorithm. So there are many places you can do that, and you can again put it in your Google business profile. So if you look at that bottom left-hand corner, that is how you can find out more how to grab and claim your free Google business profile. Remember though that when you are putting this content out, you are sharing, not selling. When you are sharing, it is about them, it's not about you. Okay? You need to know what their challenges are, what their needs are. What did they say? And did you understand that? Because a lot of times, not a lot, all the time, we all hear through our own filters. So because we hear through our own filters, we skew things that may have no meaning or context at all, not to what they're saying. So it's good for us to go back and active listen and say, all right, did I understand this? And when people know that you're paying attention, they will jump over price to work with somebody who pays attention to them and doesn't see them just as another number. All right. So now you can do demo videos. Again, saying, all right, these are the top 3 issues people run into, or when people are unboxing, this is where they might throw something away. So this is where we know they have some problems. So you're helping them. You are being that absolute expert who is guiding them through things that could be costly or expensive. Um, Again, when you develop relationships, this really is about having those conversations, helping them really solve those problems. I'm not saying about give the farm away, but there are some basic level problems that they need to solve to even be able to do business with you. And it could be, way back, a lot of times, let's say people are trying to figure out their colors and their graphics. And I don't do that. I don't help people with figuring out which brand colors excite or do this. But what I do is say, okay, well, here are 3 links to what brand colors and the meanings are of their brand color, how you can make sure you have the right hex code, or if there's a different code that's needed. And then also here's what colors work best if you're worried about color blindness when people are looking online. So I give them those 3 links, and they look at me like, oh my gosh, Marie, you've got a ton of resources. But I can help them from that way, and that's nothing that I do myself. So you can help people in that way in your area of expertise in your industry. So I'm going to show you, we talked about TW Totes. Let's talk about Tracy and Danny. If you don't remember them from Shark Tank, that's when I first met them. They're in Boston, Massachusetts, and they have wicked good cupcakes. And they ship cupcakes by putting them in mason jars, because they used to get people who wanted their cupcakes sent to them, mailed all across the country, and it would get crushed. So the mason jar is what makes them so unique. And they really wanted to grow and learn about their business and their customers. So they really wanted to find out more. And what they did is they needed to see exactly what the journey was people took on their website, because they had a pretty active website, but they didn't really understand the information that people were needing and in the order they're needing. And this is important because we need to know what those key actions are. So if I had a physical store and I was watching people come into the store, and all morning long they went in from aisle 1 to aisle 3 and they left and they didn't buy a thing, and then in the afternoon they came into aisle 1. Sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold. They came into aisle 1, aisle 4, aisle 3, and then they purchased. Now I would have questions. Is it the person that came in the afternoon that is different from the person in the morning? Or is there something on aisle 4 that really encourages them? Or there's something on aisle 3 that discourages them, and without the confirmation of aisle 4, they would just leave. So I want to know all these things. So imagine this is a website. They come in all morning, they come into page 1, they look at page 3, and then they leave all morning long. And then 1, 4, 3, then they buy or they convert. So a success action doesn't have to be that they buy. It could be that they leave their information on a contact form, or they watch a video that you need, or leave their email for an email ad. They want to be an email subscriber. So what are those key actions that you need them to do to streamline this? And are you making it easy for them? I was working once with a visitors bureau, and they had their website gated, which means that you had to put in your email address to see their website, even to just take a peek. And this is a visitors bureau. So I explained to them, what are you doing? Why do you want this information when you even haven't built know, like, and trust with them? For us to be able to get something as private as an email address, because nobody wants a spammed out, distressed email more than they already have, email inbox. They don't want that. You have to prove your value. Show them something before you ask for the email address, or they're just going to leave. You're going to see your bounce rate high because they're not finding what they're looking for. It's not helpful to them. Or your engagement rate is nothing because they can't do anything on your site unless they give you something first, which is not the way you need to do this, because they are going to give you something valuable, which is their contact information and a way to reach them beyond socials. So look at those key actions and then look at what you want those actions to be. These are what I'd say are conversion actions. So you hear me talk about the word buy. When I say buy, this means they're buying into you. It could be that they actually purchase, but it could be all of these other things as well, okay? They want to download the app that you have or a demo or something. So in their instance, in Wicked Good Cupcakes, they saw that people were coming to their site and they were just leaving. They were doing great on all the socials and people were really excited and they liking. They were even engaging and sharing with all their friends. And even in email marketing, it was like, all right, I'm going to share this with 3 of my friends and get 10% discount. And then they were not doing anything that they wanted them to do to the site. Well, when they connected their site with Google Analytics, which lets you know for free how people interact and behave on your site, then what they saw is that people would go to the holiday calendar page of their site. That's where that they would go first and foremost. And unless it was Mother's Day, Christmas, or Easter, they were not buying, because those were the 3 biggest holidays that people would purchase their packaged cupcakes and send them to loved ones, friends, and family members. So what they did is, because they identified this behavior, they put another calendar on there and they said, these are our big holidays. But in the USA, every day's a holiday. This is Take Your Daughter to Work Day. On Take Your Daughter to Work Day, you want to make sure that your daughter feels special, that she came to work with you, and reward all your coworkers for being able to help you with your little kiddo, your little mini me. And you are going to bring cupcakes. So get this package. And now people would go from there and start traveling into the site to look at all the other great packages they had for Father's Day and for Teacher's Day or for National Doctor's Day or National Nurses Day or Bring Your Son to Work Day. Okay? So they started looking at that. And then they also looked at, were they streamlining the purchase process? Did they make it easy for people to buy from them? In their instance, they are an e-commerce shop. So buying is very important. They need to be able to buy. And in order to see, again, this is the free tool, g.co/analytics, which is the mid in blue on the left there. That is how you can go to analytics. And if you have a free Google account and you don't already have Google Analytics set up, all you need to do is log into your free Google account, your free Gmail account, bring up g.co/analytics. And when you do that, it will recognize you and it will ask you if you want to start a Google Analytics account and start tracking your website. So if you have a website, you do need to do this, because this is very critical to you being an expert and understanding your customer, and will help you with consideration and conversion. Now, Google Ads, yes, there's a paid of Google Ads, but you can go into Google Ads, just ignore and skip the ask that it has for putting in your actual credit card number. Just ignore that and go to the Keyword Planner, because that's 100% free. I see a lot of people paying for keyword planners like Ahrefs or SEMrush, and there's so many free tools out there like Ask the Web or, as I said, Google Tools. This is 100% free, and it is truly looking completely at what are some of the keywords that people are searching for your actual site, because you can put your website in there. But a lot of people think ads are just for paid. Okay, so we've taken you through the 3 major hurdles that people are needing to work on in 2024, which is awareness, consideration, and conversion. But for those of you that are established, it might be loyalty. It may be that you have a great book of business and you have 75%, 80% of your customers are returning customers. So you need to figure out how to get them speaking positively on your behalf and working with them. So in order to do that, it really means continuing a conversation. So it's not that you closed a sale on them, you opened a relationship with them. That if you sustain that, you can now contact the 250 to 350 other people that most people on average influence online. So this advocacy that they can do for you can help introduce you to audiences of people who would be your best customers, so they match your customer persona, but you can never reach them. So staying in touch is important. Remember what I said about you cannot microwave relationships. They are so critical to have that time and showing that you make a difference, that you actually value them. So getting that feedback on what you can improve, what matters most to them, giving them more personalized programs because they're the VIPs. I worked with a business that currently did that, where anytime they launch out a new product or they're going to have a new program come out, so a new discount or offer, they launch it to their VIPs first, and they give them first right of refusal. So they get 2 weeks to benefit before anything's run out, or before, let's say, they want to have 5 or 10 testers to a new product. They may actually run out of testers with their current VIPs, as opposed to even going out to the general public. So they get to be that fly on the wall and get a little bit more behind the scenes. You can also encourage them to leave online reviews. This is important, everyone. Ask, ask, ask. 96% of people do not leave a good review only because somebody didn't ask. They have an intent to do that, they get busy, and then they go into their own world. Because of that, if you don't ask, you're missing a great opportunity, because reviews weigh very, very heavy on Google's algorithm. Remember what I said about relevance, distance, and prominence? Prominence is your quality score. This has everything to do with when was the last time you updated your site? Is it a good user experience? Do you get online reviews? Do you respond to your online reviews? All of that has to go into your prominence or your quality score. So when you manage your reviews, this is important for you to know. Respond to them, all of them, the good and the bad. This is important, okay? If you get trolls, you don't may not want to respond to those. Those are the only ones. They're just people who, may not even be a real customer. It's still good to acknowledge. I see a lot of people who say that, going, "Oh, I don't see you on our customer list or our guest list, but contact me here because I want to make sure this is a good experience." It's not for the troll, but it's for all of us lurking who are checking you out and researching. We see that you listen, and you actually value your customers. And even if they're not customers, you still value and you want to hear. So that really does mean something to us. Now, if you get a negative review, because if you've been in business any amount of time, you're going to get a negative review. You can't please everybody, right? But when you get a negative review, here's the response that you need to do. And that is, "That's not the experience that I want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you please contact me here?" Then you put a link to your contact form, your email address, or your phone number, your messenger link, um, where any way to contact you, however they can contact you, that takes it off of this actual review. 3 reasons why you do that. Number one, it lets somebody know that you're a real person. And a lot of times we can be downright ugly if we think it's a chat bot or AI. So if we think it's a machine, we can be super ugly. But when we realize a person's listening, all of a sudden we can become more calm. Number two, it takes the fight offline. Anytime you interact with anything online, Google signals that as it's popular and it's important. And that's great if it's something good. But if something not, then you want to take that offline as quickly as possible, because we are all way too busy to win a fight online. We've got to take care of customers as well as be chief marketer, chief analyst, janitor, all of the above, right? So make sure you take it offline. And number three, that oftentimes a negative review is just a complaint or a request in another format. And a lot of times somebody who is just upset when they feel listened and heard, now all of a sudden they can become your greatest advocate when you find out what that is. And you're not lying, because you are keeping their privacy. Because I do know, and I've worked with so many financial institutions, banks, credit unions, financial planners, who, when they get a review, people think sometimes that they're messaging with a representative one-on-one. So they start putting things like, I've seen this with a credit union, several credit unions. They'll put their account number, their password, their routing number, because they think they're having a one-on-one conversation on text, and they are not. So you are being absolutely honest with saying, that's not the experience I want from you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Please contact me here. You are being very sincere and you are listening to all of us lurking. So can they be advocates? Who can be advocates? Excuse me. It can be those customers, but it also can be your team members. Do your team members feel so proud, be it your vendors or your employees, do they feel so proud that they would share you with other people? Would they do that? So I professionally speak. I go out and physically speak and train about Google. Google walks me into conferences that are, across the nation. And so I go to my dry cleaner so much that I drop anywhere from $86 to $120 any week. My dry cleaner, the owner of that husband and wife team, I explain to them, if I don't get my gigs and I'm not doing well, then that means I can't pay for my dry cleaning, so I'm not coming over anymore. So they actually are referral advocates for me because they eat when I eat. So vendors can also do that for you. Think of all your vendors who, if you were out of business, would be super sad. So they want you to be successful. How can they support you? And could they potentially reach to that best client that you could serve? And then also affiliates and influencers. That's another tool you can use. We're not going to go deep in here, but you can use this. You're welcome, Lisa. Oh, Lisa, I saw you on the registration list and I'm so excited. Lisa and I know each other physically, personally, so it's so good to see you. I cannot wait to see you in person as I network more in Midland. Now that I'm doing more webinars than conference, I'm still doing conferences though. I'm going to be February traveling for a lot of that, but I still want to see you in person and hug your neck. Hello, Lisa. So for you, everyone, I've covered a lot today. I told you it was going to be like drinking from the fire hose. For you, what's your action plan? Where are you stuck in that funnel? Awareness, consideration, conversion, or loyalty? Where is it that you need to work in those areas? And focus on that. Because if you just walk away with the notes here and you don't really have an action plan, this may be good edutainment, but it's a waste of your time. And I really need this, and you need this more than anything, to be an investment of your time so that you're applying what you learn. A lot of people believe that knowledge is powerful, and it's not until it's applied. So, what are you going to apply today? Awareness. All right, perfect. Lisa and I are going to hug each other's necks in the next couple of weeks, I hope, while I'm in town for January. Would love that. All right, anybody else want to share in the chat box? Awareness. Perfect. All right. I love that. Apply awareness. All right, there are quite your ideal customer, absolutely, and that will help you with awareness. So that's good. You identified one of the sub steps that needs to be worked in that actual funnel. Perfect. Perfect. All of you who have said awareness, I encourage you to take that challenge of what are the 7 things that you need to do to make awareness work for you. So it could be you need to identify your ideal customer. You need to look at your messaging. You need to understand what social platforms you need to be on. You need to have a brand positioning statement. Perfect. All right, review the recording. See, this is where you're moving forward. Perfect. Awareness and chat GPT. Perfect. So yes, it could be any of these. These last 2 slides here are your cheat sheet. It could be that you need to work on any of these 6 bullet points and awareness and consideration. Or it could be in this area of the funnel, conversion and loyalty. So that's the bottom half of the funnel. You'll hear that called tofu, mofu, and bofu. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. So it could be any of these 5 bullet points that you need to work on. Okay? But shout it out, and more importantly, know for yourself what it is that you need to do. Now, remember what I said. If you have any questions, reach out to the person who invited you to the organization because they are there locally. I'm such an advocate of small business and local small business. And then also, they have the boots on the ground that are truly vested in your success. I want to thank our amazing Google partners who've been here. I mean, gosh, some of you guys for years, for the 7 years that I've been a Google trainer, you guys have been here supporting and bringing your community and making sure that your community knows how to be visible, valid, and valuable to their best customer. If you want to ask me questions, because I am just one person, I have a membership site so that you can ask there and I can answer everybody and do a walkthrough there because a lot of times one person has a question. This is only if you don't have one of these local partners to reach out to. Okay. If you have these local partners, I tell you, they really are. Every single one here, I'm looking at them thinking, oh my gosh, I would just love to have been able to work with each of them when I first started my business, because I started in a business incubator. But if you need additional support, you want specific question about, you know what, I heard this in the recording, Maria, and this just floored me. I didn't know how to do this. Or, gosh, could you go on video and show me how do you ask ChatGPT for this? I'm not even sure how to write the prompt. Then I can show you that. Okay, so you can go here into office hours if you want to. Again, that's a paid subscription. You do not have to do that. You can always go to this team here, right? They're your local people, and they're the ones who can also tell you about your local resources. And I am going to mirror what I teach. If this was a great experience for you and I've given you good information, so if you've given somebody a great experience and given them good information, helpful, or delivered a product or service or solution to them, ask for a review. You can go real easy here to reviewmaria.com, or you can use this QR code. And you don't have to, but I would be absolutely honored at a review. I'd love to hear back how this experience has been for you, and if I've been helpful in you actually planning the trajectory of your business and success in 2024. I would love to know that. Okay. Now it's time for Q&A, and this is when I do stop the recording.